Right. We made it. I'm getting some audio feedback for some reason. Hopefully that was it. Right. We are here. We are no apron. And we've got the salmon pink shorts. Oh dear. Oh. Welcome back everyone. It's good to see so many people here. I'm super excited for this. And it sounds like, oh, why is the audio weird? Oh. Welcome back everyone. It's good to see so many people here. Oh, we are weird. Why is it? Hello! That's weird. Why would it... How about that? Are we better on the audio? How's that going? The music should be there. I'm going to call that an upgrade. That's a feature, not a bug. It's gone. One mic at a time. Better. Yes. Yes. The music should be there. Cool. So, welcome back everyone. As you can see, there are some changes, hence the technical difficulties. Not only did we decide, well, did I decide to do this stream like really last minute, I also decided to stream to Twitch at the same time. So welcome to everyone on Twitch as well. Normally stream on YouTube, but you know, separating things or trying new things. So hello to everyone on Twitch. Could get a little bit weird with chat if I don't manage to cover it properly. We can adjust music levels and stuff as we go. It only needs to be there really in the background. Hopefully you can't hear it through my microphone because it is playing on my speakers too. It helps me just have something to listen to a little bit. I'm not surprised audio's out of sync, but you won't be seeing me very much. We're going to be just looking at the printer mostly, so didn't manage to sort that, unfortunately. As you can see, lots of things changed. So now we have all these like scenes and stuff with, oh, it's just so clean and yeah. So we've got all sorts of different things to look at, and this all works hopefully quite nicely and looks a little bit more professional. So I spent some time doing that today. Anyway, I'm printing things on the Voron, yes. So let's go through. First off, some of the parts that I plan to be upgrading or changing or modifying, etc. Because that's the plan for today. Well, over the next few streams, there is another project upcoming, which is what the Voron is printing. That's probably not going to start for another week or so, so we've got time until then to get on with this as much as I can. So, right, good. I think I've calmed down, less panic, and we're ready to go. There's not going to be, I mean, there's no major, I mean, lots of things are changing, but, so, let's go back to, hang on a minute. So, let's be clear about the scope of what I'm planning to do and what I'm not planning to do. I'm not planning to, like, redesign the whole printer at the moment. That is just an enormous amount of work. It's not worth doing. It's already really good. So if you are coming here thinking, oh, I'm just going to completely change the whole thing, it's not going to happen. This is part of making sure I have everything in line, and I've kind of looked at different aspects before I start doing detailed comparisons between this and the Voron 2.4, which you can see printing behind me. The reason I've decided to do this is because that is performing exceptionally well. This did not perform quite as good. There are obvious reasons for that, one of them being that it's printing using a V6 hot end, which just massively limits speed. 2, the noise was higher than I was wanting, and I think that might be in part to Stealth Chop not working quite as intended. There's also not a fully released version of an input shaper on this printer, so that's another thing that I obviously want to get going. So, control board firmware is the main focus of this change, but I figured since we're doing that, let's just change a whole load of other stuff as well. I have actually printed out all the parts here in ABS, but I think I'm going to leave that until after the comparison. A, because I don't think it impacts really the performance of the printer in this format. Obviously when it's enclosed, that's a little bit of a different story, but that's not what we're doing today. So yeah, just the ABS parts that I'm going to be using are going to be on the parts that I'm changing. So I'll probably rebuild the Ever. Not that I really need to change hot end, but again, it's just one of those things where it's a good opportunity to do it. We can have some fun playing around with reassembling stuff, so that's kind of the plan. Hope that makes a little bit of sense. I think it's time to get on with it. If you want to tag me and stuff as we go, make sure you use the @Vector3D thingy in the chat, because otherwise I'll probably miss it. So, here's what we're going to do. So, because, Big Tree Tech are not sponsoring this, to be absolutely clear, but I've got that Octopus on the Voron, and it seems to be doing really well. It seems to be a pretty fancy board. So they sent me 2 when I did the Voron. I don't know why they sent me 2, but they've sent me 2. So we've got an extra one, and I think that's what I'm planning to use it. Before I did that, I actually purchased this, which is the SKR Pro version 1.2, which is like the intended board for Clipper on the V-Core 3. So if it all goes pear-shaped with the Octopus, then we've got this on hand in case, but I'm not really planning to use it. Well, had they not accidentally or deliberately sent me 2 of the Octopus, then that's why I had this. This was the plan. But they sent me 2 of that after I got this, so now I've got this and that. Anyway, I'm not going to be using the... what I do need... I think I need the stepper drivers. Oh no, I already got them out. That's okay. I need these heat sinks though, I think. How many changes do you want? Yes. Yeah, Octopus does seem like the go-to, as Mikhail's mentioned there. He obviously knows his stuff. So Octopus is kind of the board looking forwards, hence me deciding to go with that now that I have 2. It just seems like the sensible option. And we're going with TMC 2209 stepper drivers. Mine actually here don't really match. Oh, it turns out those are 2208, so that could be problematic. We might have to... Oh, Adam, you imbecile. Well, I think I've got more in here. I think that's what this box is. So I've got 3 2209s in here, another 2 2209s, and maybe we'll have to use a 2208 for, maybe we'll do it on the extruder. That's Z, X, Y, and E. Yeah, so it's only one 2208 that we need, so might be good for that. Who does me? Did I get a 60 volt power supply? So the 60 volt is for the Octopus Pro, not the standard Octopus. I don't have an Octopus Pro. In the last 24 hours trying to contact Big Tree Tech about sponsoring this, let me just check. I don't think they've responded enough for me to get them to sponsor. So unfortunately they won't be, no. They kind of wanted to use an Octopus Pro, that's obviously their new thing. But for my purposes, I really wanted to match what's in the Voron, it just helps with any comparison. So obviously we're going to be clipperizing it. We can use, so obviously it's not out the box, but I've done some clipper configuration now, and I believe you can just set any of the axes to a different driver, right? Oh look, an on-screen thing. Excellent, it works. Yeah, I might just borrow one out of the Voron to get it working until we can get some in. I'll order them, hopefully I'll be able to order some today, tomorrow. It's annoying that it's literally just one. I don't think I have any others floating around in other boxes. I'll have a look. So yes, obviously we're going to be clipperizing. So I've got a Raspberry Pi 4 8 gig. Now this is about as overkill as it gets. You really don't need an 8 gig Raspberry Pi 4, especially at the price they're going for at the moment. But it's what I've got. I needed it to be a 4 because I wanted to be as similar as possible to the Voron. So, and 8 gig is what I could get. 4 gigs were all out of stock, so that's what we got. And then power supply to go with it. I know you can power it off the Octopus, but I have used this in the Voron, and I liked how that works, so I'm going to do the same again. Before I do the firmware, I will have a closer look at the config just to make sure I don't make a complete balls up of that. The next thing is we're going to be doing, well, this is just a big stick of LEDs. So what I've done, so all these parts I actually printed like a couple of months ago, 2-3 months ago, I don't really remember, just after doing the review or around the time of doing the review. So this is just a little clip that holds this thing. It should just kind of press in there, and that'll hold the LEDs in place. I've got a couple of those clips, and that'll just give some extra light. Because at the back of my room behind me here, you can sort of see, there's no overhead lighting back there, so when printers are there, it gets kind of dark, especially as I stand between the light and the people. So yes. Chat. I just end up looking at it and then spend 5 minutes reading it. Hopefully the music's not too annoying. If the music gets annoying, let me know. Or if you can hear it, or it's echoing, or any weird things like that. So yeah, got some LEDs. That should be really simple to do. We'll do that in Clipper firmware. That should be an absolute doddle. He says that now. Probably going to still make a mess of it. One other thing I had in here. So I've got this display. This is actually a Fiztech one. I've lost my Big Tree Tech one. I've got a Big Tree Tech display. I've not got any printed parts for it yet. I was actually planning to put this on when I was just using the Duet board. But ended up now deciding that I'm going to switch to control board. So may or may not decide I want this. For some reason I've cut the ends of that cable off. So I'm going to put this out the way for now. If we do go with one, I'll probably just go with the Big Tree Tech one. Not that it really makes much difference. It's pretty much the same if I remember correctly. This is a cable for my LEDs. Move that out the way. Next we got a little fan. So the fans that come with the RatRig V-Core 3 are not, they're really noisy. Like very soon after getting it, they went noisy as hell. If I turned it on now, you probably could hear them. They basically go off center. The bearing seems to have died, and the whole thing just goes very, very noisy. The printers are... so yes, going to have a go with this fan. Now, this is not a 24 volt fan. This is only 12 volt fan. But one of the nice features of the Octopus is it has little jumpers next to all the fan headers. So you can actually change them, I believe, between 5, 12 and 24 volts. So you can pretty much just use whatever fan you want anywhere and you're good to go. So really happy. That's going to work pretty easily. And oh, did I crack? Huh. Wow. Is this what I think it is? Oh no, that's the other thing. Okay, let's not talk about that. Bye bye. Next. So While I haven't been necessarily super vocal about it, many people are probably aware that I think the V6 on this printer, if you've seen my review, is a pretty poor decision. Yes, it's open source, and it's nice to support that, and this is not, and almost the opposite. However, it is a high-performing hot-end, the Fatus Dragon. This is one of the OGs, so this is the oldest version possible. So, going to be sticking this in with a 50-watt cartridge, same E3D thermistor. Annoyingly, I left the filament in, so that's still sticking up the top from when I last used it. But that's going to be going in there. Unfortunately, I've got a black heatsink, a blue heatsink on it rather than black one. But who cares? That'll be fine. Next thing, this is taking a while, isn't it? Next thing we've got is a fan. Now it looks just like a standard, like boring 5015 fan. But this is a Sunon Maglev fan, which have a pretty good reputation for being good, durable fans. I'm sure I'll be able to put that to the test. Again, this is a 12 volt fan, so we've got to make sure we set that header correctly, otherwise we're going to have problems. Yeah, so that's going to be the next thing. I made this cable for some reason, and I don't know why. Then we've got the ADXL. This is the mount that I had for the Voron, so we'll be creating a new mount at some point. Heat sock, and that's pretty much it. Behind here, I'm not sure what's in here, so let's open this up and find out. As I said, planned this a few months ago, so things could be a bit different since then. We have 7 people watching on Twitch. Hello people in Twitch that have not seen me before, or just decide that that's a better platform for watching. I think I know what this is, but I'm not 100% sure, so we can find out together. I think it's like bearings or pulleys, idlers. Yeah. So, for one reason or another, the wear on my pulleys on my V-Core 3 seem to be very fast. So, I've gone to Pauji, the recommended spec for Voron printers, and I got some more pulleys. Also, they're black. I didn't realise they were black. That's not necessarily a benefit, but that's a thing. So, hopefully this is then toothed pulleys, because, oh no, do we have any toothed ones? Presumably there's some toothed ones somewhere. Hopefully these will last a little bit more. There you go. Pulleys, and the rest are smooth idlers. So, I'm looking to replace these. I'm sure we will. We maybe won't. Yeah, I'm sure that won't take too long. I'm just conscious of time, that's all. As I said, I am a bit limited because I have another project starting soon and I don't want to run over. So that's one thing, and then we got in here some Gates belts. So replacing the whole pile of belts on here that are standard. I mean, there's nothing really like wrong with the belts that it comes with, but seeing I was doing upgrades and stuff, I was like, yeah, let's get some Gates belts, because why the hell not? So, Pavo, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Look how organised I was. I printed things. Ah, that's a point. Yeah, it may be true that they don't fit. If they don't fit, then we'll... they don't... you might be right. Yeah. Yep, I don't think those are going to fit. Now that you've mentioned that. Easy mistake to make, I guess. So, let's get on with it. Yeah, let's get on with it. So first things first actually is put everything back in the box and start dismantling things that we now don't need off the current printer. The octopus wiring diameter is identical, so you can use that. Oh, that was sharp. By the way, the enclosure on that Voron at the moment, it's only around 65 degrees. Pretty toasty. Absolutely mental. Right. Hello. So I think we're going to start around the back. We've got the old Lazy Susan out. We obviously need to find ways to mount the Pi and the new power supply. This all needs to come out. We're probably going to have to rewire all the stepper motors. It's quite a lot to do. I hadn't anticipated quite how much there's going to be to do. Oh, why did I decide to do this? Well, I've decided now, we're doing it. So let's just stop moaning and get on with it. Now's really not the time to talk about retraction. It's kind of boring. Sorry. It's not like there's nothing really special about retraction settings. I've not used anything particularly fancy. The Voron one, I've actually just got a profile from Nero, so I'm just using that. James just followed me on Twitch. Tar very much. My brain's just crashed. Where are we going? Let's get some, maybe this, maybe this. So this was the Duet 3 Mini 5 Plus. Now, I want to be really clear. I'm not taking this control board out because I don't think it's good, right? Just forget that. If that's what you thought was happening, just no, not that at all. I have already mentioned, obviously, for comparison, I wanted to have the Voron on this the same. The other reason for doing it is that the support through V-CoreOS and the community is far more focused, it seems, from my perspective, on the Clipper version of things. So I don't think this board and the configuration has been supported particularly well. It works, but if you want the easiest journey and probably the best results too, the Octopus Clipper Big Tree Tech side of things just seems to be much better supported. So that would be a really good reason to make a switch, and that's what I'm doing. I could do clip-on Duet 3 Mini 5 Plus. I could. That's absolutely right. But I'm not. I wanted to change. So, is this going to be the right angle? It's a bit difficult to see. We'll have to drill some new holes and stuff in here to get everything fitted, so it's going to be a bit dodgy, I think, but it wouldn't be a live stream of mine if it wasn't a little bit dodgy. Voron runs with V-CoreOS. That is interesting. Does anyone have any strong opinions on the music? I think I'd like it to be something a little bit different. This might be a little bit too much, we'll see. Yeah, going to be plenty of rewiring to do, that's for sure. Which everybody knows is my favourite part. Said nobody ever. There must be somebody out there whose wiring a printer is like their favourite thing to do. Can you guys even like hear the music? The reason I can do music now, by the way, is because I've always used, well, I've used Streamlabs for a really long time, and I wanted to try streaming to Twitch and YouTube at the same time, which I can do because I'm not a partner, a Twitch partner that is, and YouTube doesn't seem to mind. And in order to do that, you have to have the Streamlabs Prime thing. So I got that, and as you get that, you get everything else, so all the music and stuff, so there you go. Cool story, eh? Hopefully I can make this new setup as wonderfully tidy as the old one. Oh, I think because the paint was a little bit wet, the things have stuck to it. It's not a problem. Good thing is, seeing as I'm putting a different one in here, I now have this to play with. The good thing about duet boards is you can basically do anything with them. Like, it doesn't have to really be 3D printing. Well, I suppose it's kind of true of a lot of things, but the G-code style setup is just super duper versatile. So there you go. That's that out. Goodbye. Goodbye, friend. You have served me well. Let's get these out. Wouldn't it be nice if the whole pattern was identical? I think we can be basically certain that it isn't. But I haven't built my V-Core yet, but had this crazy idea that I use solid copper 12 gauge for anything that isn't moving, so I can have it all rotated nicely and stay put. You could, I guess. You didn't label the wires? Nah. So, my fans are two different colours, so that helps. And obviously, because of this printer's arrangement, I can really easily check both ends. I know the colour's the same. These are a bit different, but it's the motors that I'm most worried about messing up. But they can all be sorted. Wouldn't it be possible to mount two DIN rails in the back to avoid drilling a zillion holes? Yes. But I like drilling zillions of holes. That's my favourite thing to do. It's just... My experience with DIN rails didn't go particularly well because they were the wrong size. The whole pattern was just wrong. They were bendy and weird. I'm not saying that's true of all DIN rails. Absolutely not. Obviously, they're used in industry and pretty reliable. It's a good solution. But not for me on this occasion. Partly because of that, and partly because I just don't have any, and I'm starting this today. So anything I don't have can't be used. Simple as that. I might leave this, oh, let's do a little mock-up just to see where we get to. Are you going to make a V-Core 3 versus Voron video? I am doing that. I don't, it's so difficult, honestly. I shouldn't complain about it, I know. It's a ridiculously privileged position to be in. There's obviously a lot to talk about. I've asked in both the groups about what people would like to see. I've obviously got my own ideas about topics that need to be covered. And so far, identified about 46 topics. You put that into a video of like 3 minutes each and suddenly it's very, very long. So then cutting things out, which are more and less important. And as soon as you're cutting things out, you'll end up cutting things out that you don't want to. That looks pretty good. I'm mildly nervous about some of the cable lengths. Motors look like they should all be good. We should be able to get those to somewhere. Obviously we can configure different things in different places, so that doesn't really matter. If these ones are coming from the bottom, so if these want to go to this end, then that's fine. Ethernet's going to be moving anyway. This is for CAN, so that's irrelevant. This side, I can't remember what half this stuff is. I think some of these were end stops. The 3 wires were end stops. That's probably BL touch. This is a thermistor. That's a thermistor. So thermistors are in here, so they should be okay. Power's all still along the bottom. I think this is going to work out absolutely fine. The fans maybe, no, because that can just take back from there, go along there, and they need to go in here. That should be okay. I think we're pretty good. So not too worried about that. That should work out just fine. There's just going to be quite a bit of wiring. I might end up doing some of the wiring just on my own without a stream. Or I'll just do it, or I'll do it on Twitch, maybe as a less formal just... See, this is the thing about streaming. Like, sometimes I feel like if I'm working on it anyway, and I'm just going to sit here and do it, I could just sit here and do it with the camera on. But obviously, I think YouTube has like more expectation of something being done, whereas on Twitch, maybe you can just do it a little bit more informally. The other things I need to mount, as we mentioned, is the Pi and the power supply. The Pi and supply. So this could actually, we've got like 30 mil at the edge that's not very easy to use because of the extrusion. So in from there, like that could be a valid place, I think. It's definitely got proximity to the Ethernet. In fact, it's almost too much. But we've got loads of extra cable length, so that's not a worry anyway. Down there might even be a nice place. Powers, I think somewhere here, right next to this one for the power, is probably going to be a reasonable bet. And we'll have the mains. We might need to get a Wago extender thing because we've already got multiple terminals on here, and that's just going to get messy. So we'll cut those off and stick them in Wago Watsits and then pull those out. Then we're going to have, yeah, mains on the left side, and then the low voltage come out here to power the Pi. So we could do this and maybe the Pi above it. That could work. Not going to be super easy to drill the holes for this either because it's backwards, but that's okay. Yeah, I think maybe that one up there and maybe Pi down here. We'll use a bit of extra Ethernet length? Yeah, Ethernet cable, and we'll stick that down there. I think that's a reasonable plan as long as, have we got width here? Yeah, that's going as far as about there, I think. So we only need 2 holes, that should be okay. Power supply probably could have come over a bit, but it's too late to change it, isn't it? So, okay, I think that's going to be the plan. We've got a whole bunch of stuff we've got to take off first, though. Let's go disassemble Eva. I'm just going to go get some water. I shall be back in a second. I've got to be right back. Okie dokie. Is he water cooling something? I am not water cooling things. We're going with the Octopus control board. I got sent two, so it just seems like the normal thing to do. So now we've got to disassemble Eva. Now this is going to be a bit more difficile because it's right up there. Do I tilt the whole printer over? Then we have to worry about the bed. Should we disconnect the bed? We could do that. Or move all cameras up. Oh, it's just not very easy, is it? Which way is going to be the best way? There we go. The music should stay on during any breaks now. Why am I using another power supply? Because that's what I did with the Voron. If you have a separate power supply, it gives you some options in terms of powering things on and off differently, apparently. I've had a brain freeze and I'm not sure how to proceed. I'm going to unplug the bed. I think that's going to be a good idea because the bed uses the kinematic mounting system. It has to have gravity to hold it in. If you turn the printer on side, the whole thing falls out. The magnets don't really... They probably... No, they just don't really. I've done it. It fell off. Don't do it. So, yeah, we're not plugged in. It's fine. So I'm going to remove some terminals here. Not that one. We need to remove this one, actually. Hopefully this is going to come out pretty simple. Earth is good. Yeah. Oh, we have to get the thermistor as well, don't we? Oh, by the way, even though this is not a sponsored stream, my promo code thing for the V-Core 3 is still active, so that's a thing. That's available in the description. I think we've had, well, reports a couple of days ago. It was 99 people that have used it, which is quite nice. Presumably it doesn't matter that I tell people how many people use it. Oh, this is... I've not had the Vera Allen keys out in a while. Where are they gone? I've got more tools than I know what to do with now. Another major first world problem, eh? Ooh, that's a tight one. So I did this probably extra tight because it's the earth, and you kind of have to do it extra tight to get it to conduct through the anodize. Oh, what I do like on this transition, if you watch, the cameras that are the same just move to the new position. Go to this. I know it's lame, but I really enjoy that. We need to cut these. There we go, that's the bed out, so there you go, there's your big old bed plate. Thermal fuse, 2 on the bottom. Lovely jubbly. That's going to go here. What I will do is, here's a tip. When you're not printing, turn your bed plate over the other way, upside down, so dust doesn't accumulate on the print surface. And then wipe it off on, because it's much easier to wipe a smooth side, unless of course your printing surface prints on both sides, in which case cover it with something or put it somewhere else. Right. Okay, so all the moving parts should be out of the way. This is going to be, I think, a preferable side to pull this down, so I'm going to remove this as well. Right, that's that out of the way. Right, so if we, I don't know if I'm doing very good camera angles today, I feel a bit all over the place. Just excited. I like working on this machine. One thing I do like, this open back electronics panel is definitely, in terms of assembly, my preferred method compared to Voron. With the Voron, I kept like tipping it forwards and backwards and up and down and up and down and up and down to like try something and then change it and then try something and change it. It's just pain. Whereas this, open back. Obviously you could put like doors and panels or whatever, but it's just a preferred orientation from my perspective. So I'm actually going to take more out here. So we'll get this off of here. Goodbye zip ties. This is another one. I'm interested, what printer did you print your Peak parts on? Do tell. I'm glad you ended up with it on the back. It's one of those things that's really odd, isn't it? It's like one of those decisions that you don't necessarily realise or know the impact of until you've done it and try it. But having just finished building the Voron and having that massive pain with turning it up and down. For what it's worth, if you can or will see the chat, I for one would most probably definitely lurk in a casual Twitch stream with the boring stuff. I am trying to monitor Twitch stream. My screen space is really limited, so because I know there's going to be more chat on YouTube, I am looking at that most of the time. So apologies to the Twitch people. I do love you too. It's just difficult to monitor all the things. If I had more screens, it would be easier, but I don't. In fact, maybe I could stick that screens up there because I'm not using my second screen at the moment. I don't know how to just have Twitch chat. I don't really want it streaming. Oh, I can pause. There you go. Like a normal human being, just pause them. Right. Turns out I don't need to watch myself during my own live stream. Let's get this cable out. Has anyone tried these clips that I designed? I freaking love them. Another one of those things that was like, yeah, it might be useful. It just turns out to be one of the best things I've ever made. They're not perfect, definitely not. But for how long they took to design, they work remarkably well. I think so anyway. So I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. Well done me. Okay, this is getting a bit difficult now. Having to weave them back through without wiring, managing everything else. I don't think they can pull straight up, that's the thing. That's not what I want. Oh no, one of the motors is going to come. That's extruder, isn't it? trying to keep up with any chat is just impossible. I don't think Twitch is going to allow you to post links. I think I blocked it. But thank you for letting me know that it's a thing. I'll check that for next time. I've not really used Twitch much, if ever. So I've watched some things, but not. I don't use it a lot. So, and I've definitely never streamed on Twitch before. Oh, it's done. The Voron thingy is done. The oven is done. It's baked. So that's back panel now looking a lot cleaner, clearer, cleared out. All of the above. Now we need to find a way to rest this on its side. So I'll work on the top stuff. Oh, this printer's so heavy. This is one thing. Oh no, I've taken the top out. The bed out. And people were like, "Oh, be careful! The Voron's heavy." I was like, so this is like a whole new level of heavy compared to the Voron. It's not quite on there straight. Right, here we go. Ever. You can... I'm giving my love to people in Twitch chat, apparently. How do you like the 2.4 so far? It's really good. But I kind of cheated because I got Nero's profile. Well, no, sorry, it's not Nero's profile. It's the profile of... I can't remember the name. Sorry. Well, I got it from Nero, but it's the profile of someone that does the print it forward. So print it forward is a scheme they have for Voron. The Voron owners have to go through a quality process to make sure they can print to a certain quality, and then they're allowed to sell, I mean it's not official, but they can sell bits, like a full kit of Voron parts to people that want to build a Voron, and that scheme is called Print It Forward. So the people that print for that scheme, one would assume have bloody good profiles, and from the evidence that I have so far, which is one profile, is that is 100% the case. The profile I have, it's absolutely stonking. The parts are ridiculous. I'll give you a little close-up example. This, if you know what this part is from, don't say anything. So, I mean, it's quite difficult to see probably with this, but... Are we going to manage? Are we going to manage? It's just ridiculous how good it is. There's no weird stuff, there's no ringing, there's no misplaced lines. It's just it's just absolutely bonkers. So that's why I really need to do this on the V-Core 3, because while the print quality I was getting was good, it was not that good. Yes, this is the only thing I've printed on the Voron is ABS, and that's pretty much my entire plan going forward. Just ABS all the things, because I don't have much reason to do anything different. So, now I have to remember how to assemble or disassemble this. Panic! one screw at a time and just guess. So this is one thing that's coming out. So that was one fan. This was a Pengda Technology fan. It's okay, not particularly great. I found the PWM really noisy on these two fans as well. I think that again is due to like the frequency of the PWM, and you want it like really low frequency for controlling non-PWM fans. Excuse me. So yeah, that's the thing. I feel like I'm probably going to disassemble this wrong, like in a really bad order. It's been a while since I've handled this machine. Who said it was a high temp upgrade? I don't think I said it was a high temp upgrade. It's really difficult to get a good blooming camera angle for this too. That. Let's just get in closer, right? New subscriber, yeah! Does somebody want to try a super chat? I know you have to pay for them, but there's also like, you see the like notification things at the bottom of the screen. There's 4 boxes there, and I think one of them is, so I think top left is like most recent subscriber. Bottom right seems to be most recent or a super chat. So, I mean, I've got all ABS parts and I've got parts to enclose it. I was kind of hoping Ratwig would, because they're I think starting enclosure stuff now, aren't they? I thought they were going to send me something, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So I will probably be winging it. So this is the other fan. This is also Pengda technology. Again, this is about the loudest fan I've ever used. The bearing seems to have died very quickly. Not particularly recommended. So no, Pengda technology, P-E-N-G-D-A. Also, I chose a really funny colour, didn't I, for my rig parts. I didn't have any green ABS at the time, so we got red. Don't be mad, please don't be mad. Let's undo these. I don't feel like I'm going to get very far today other than just disassembling everything, but we are going to be doing more streams. This is not just going to be one and done. So this is all coming out. As nice as the gold E3D V6 is, its performance is just not that great. Brandon! So will it come up on the stream? Thank you very much for the $5, by the way. Super kind. This is the downside of having music is that I kind of just want to dance to it. Where are the idlers? I've forgotten where the tensioning is on this. Oh, it's on the hot end extrudery boy, isn't it? So we need to loose those off. That didn't seem to update stream labels. So recent donation, recent subscriber, recent cheer, recent follower. So follower seems to work, subscriber doesn't seem to. Oh, here we go. I think I can fix it. I'm so confused. Brandon. Cheer. Follower. Subscriber. Donation. There is a lot of options for. Oh, sorry, I've not managed to get that to work very well, so try that another time, I think. Oh yes, belts. Let's loosen off the belts. 9mm belts, obviously a cool decision as well. Definitely on board with that. It's difficult to tell whether it's overkill. I guess should allow for higher acceleration. Things with input shaper like this, the belt stretch or bounciness shouldn't matter too much because it's going to compensate. But input shaping just makes things confusing. I'm wondering if I shouldn't have done that yet because now it's going to be way more difficult. Oh well. Missing chat. So confused. So how do we get this out? We have to take the front screws off. 2.5. So that's the Bondtech BMG. That's going in the box of spares, not spares, box of parts that are going to be going back on the printer. Oh yeah, I didn't mention, did I? We're not changing extruder, now you know. That's that coming off. Where are we going next? So what I'm doing is I'm putting all these screws in a box just next to me. You can kind of maybe see it on the wider cam. And the plan is, once I've disassembled everything, to basically go through the instruction manual and just follow that to get everything, and that will tell me all the right screws and things as well. I could probably remember it because, you know, quite good at remembering random stuff like that, but live streams, you know, I end up forgetting stuff that I wouldn't normally. There's actually, this might make you laugh. There's a couple of screws that have fallen out of my Voron just like mid-print. It's happened twice now because of the extreme vibration that you use, that you do the testing under for the input shaper, and the fact that because I was obviously doing it live, like that's one of the things that you very easily forget. If you like undo 6 screws in order to like kajigga things around a bit, you then like start retightening them, you get through 5 and you're like, oh yeah, that was it, that's done. Whereas normal brains just like would count them in, count them back out kind of thing. Do you also swap belts? I am planning to swap the belts. Okay, this bit can be done off here. I've actually changed the design a little bit of Ever. I don't know, so obviously my parts I printed ages ago. There's quite possibly other changes now, but my Ever parts are going to be slightly different. I made some changes regarding printing in ABS, hopefully making that process a little bit easier. Certainly made it easier for me. And I think I made some other changes with like cable management or something. I don't remember exactly. It was a while ago. I'll try and show them when I get there. Is the music audible, by the way? Or is it so quiet that nobody can hear it? I'm going to have to get new nuts, I think. It's very difficult to get these out. What's that first one anyway? I will consider doing Loctite. I want to be careful not to do it on the wrong screws because that would be devastating, but if I remember, I'll use some Loctite. I'll get it out the drawer actually. That might remind me to use it if and when we get to that. How are we doing for time today? An hour. Oh, it feels like longer. Music is okay, enough to hear it, but not too loud to cover your commentary. I'm glad, that's good, that's exactly what I wanted. The music wants to be there for when I'm not talking, to just stop it sounding like, I don't know, weirdly quiet. Just because it's more difficult to remove than you would want. I know you can remove it, but it's just... It wouldn't be the end of the world. It would just probably be annoying. Ah, come on. What great upgrades is Adam doing? A bunch of things. That one won't come out, so that's gonna rest in pieces, that one. Goodbye. I'm kind of doing some high temperature stuff. I'm doing hot end, I'm doing fans. Bit of a mix. Sunrise out as well. There's 2.4 incoming soon with Nova, HIC, BMO, Rapido, Chevron Mini, slightly better layer duct, and some stuff I can't talk about yet. Ah, it's a big release. Of course, so I'm going to be doing this just before a big release. Oh, it's typical. Typical me, isn't it? It's what happens, I guess, when you don't plan things and just do them. Strangely enough, finding content to make is not the difficult bit. The difficult bit is making sure you don't spend so much time making content that you don't actually make any money. Because it turns out people need money. It's just kind of a thing. If you're interested, I could send you the modifications that I did. I mean, it's probably not important. They're only little things. But I could probably send you STLs. I think I did them all in Fusion 360. If it's of any, I mean, it's probably not useful, but. Most of my changes revolved around one thing. I've never spent this much time taking nuts out of things. I could just use new nuts. I've actually thrown some parts away. What I'm going to do is just collect them just in case I do break something and I need to use one of these parts as a step-in replacement. If I keep them somewhere that way, at least I've got them if I need them. And I've lost, don't have a, I'll just stick them in a bag, that'll do. Oh, I'm going to change angle because I like, oh. I think it's kind of cool that I can see on the stream the viewers as well. It just looks neat, doesn't it? It's like, it doesn't really help anyone. It just looks kind of neat as a thing. My message things are totally broken, aren't they? I just made a right mess of that. Oh, can I just... Yes! I fixed it. Most recent super chatter on the star. Mikhail, did I not mod you a while back? If you declined, that's fine, but I trust that you're not going to make a mess of this. I think that worked. Seeing as you're talking a lot, you don't have to be clear, I'm not expecting you to have to do anything. Like, I just mod people that I trust enough to do things to help if they are around, that's all. Right. So far, I think all I've done really is make a mess. It's a good mess. It's a good hot mess. These are going to come out as well. You've got the mod powers now. I feel like you know probably more about managing a large community than I do, so it only makes sense. As I said, you don't have to do anything about it. It's just useful. That's pretty shady. Yeah, I know, but I tried to think of something funny to say, but couldn't. Blue never did that. Those recent up-to-date references. Yeah. Making a mess is definitely the easy bit. I'll grant you that one. I'm just going to yank all these belts out because F it. I know I'm going to regret it. But they're getting out. Don't want to turn the motor, that's why I'm... And then I can cut the belts to length as well, so that'll help that. Now I feel old. You and me too, you and me too. I think you're only really count as old where you say a reference and nobody understands it. That's when you're actually old. As long as people can go, oh, that's an old reference, then you're not really old yet. Right. That still works. Oh, I feel like now I'm here, I'm just going to end up replacing all the parts. Like being watched. Remember phone dial tones? Of course, of course, of course. When phones used to be this, and this. In fact, I never did this. That was never a thing. But I did this. So let's get this bunch of harness out of the way. That can go somewhere over there. I don't want to do it, but I think I need to do it. We're going to take off the carriage. Back of those were proper. I'm of that generation, I think it's kind of common where people just stopped using phones for calling people. So I've never really gone through a phase of making loads of phone calls. Not that that's particularly relevant to the live stream. But there you go, now you know. Exciting, eh? So I got these, I made some different end blocks. They are modified, but I can't remember how. They're, for all intents and purposes, identical. They're identical apart from the fact that they're not. If that makes sense. I'm sure that makes complete sense. Oh, I know a thing that I did. It might be a really bad idea, but I did it anyway. Let me show you. Pavel will probably spot this quicker than anyone else. I mean, I've shown you the change there. If you can spot it, the print quality on these is not superb, but hopefully it's good enough. See if you can spot the change. The main change. There's definitely a few, but the main change that I focused on. I think I mentioned it when I did the live streams. But I don't think I've shown anyone this since making the change. They all, the L and the R is original. Yeah, I removed the spaces, so I believe, Pavel can correct me if I'm wrong, but with the spaces used, these parts become very nearly symmetrical. Without them, they're very definitely not. I found those spaces a right pain to install. Actually, they were not that bad, if I'm being totally honest. But it felt odd that they were there, given that you can just move the face up. So that's one of the things I've done. So hopefully I've done them right. Hopefully I've got these pulleys in the right place. That would be rather embarrassing if I haven't. I don't think they're any bulkier. They might look more bulky because like this area here obviously used to be just open space. So you get this big chunk here now. And same on this end. So obviously you've got this big chunky area that wasn't here before. I don't know how much difference it's going to make. Probably basically nothing. But I wanted to try it. So there you go. Yeah, the spaces are a little bit, it's one of those things, it's like, it's actually not that bad. Like if you try building a Voron, then you'll know what annoying to assemble is. That was such a trigger. People are going to hate me for saying that. Voron wasn't actually that bad either. It's just the instructions that were not super great. Someone commented on the video, just say like, oh, you found it difficult because you read the instruction. You didn't read the instructions and then didn't assemble it properly and then complained. I was like, no, I read the bloody instructions and they barely existed. That's what happened. I mean, I'm not sure this is necessarily going to be better. There's fewer spaces, but you still need the little, I think I've still included it so the tiny little spaces, the very small shims either side of the idler are still needed. What did I go down here for? This. I felt like I needed way fewer tools to do the Voron as well. I mean, obviously I had the heat insert tool. It might just be an illusion. Ooh, or something I didn't really notice at the time, but maybe should have done. Enjoy your work, John. I mean, by the sounds of it, you might not, but I can't do anything about that, I'm afraid. How do I disassemble this? I think this is okay. Is the right thing to do? I don't really know. We'll do the disassembly first and then we'll focus on assembly afterwards. Yeah, I think the argument of if you can't assemble it, then you shouldn't have it, is not only just like horribly elitist. I mean, you've got to remember, not everyone's got 2 hands and 10 fingers, to say at least of the obvious things. But also, it's just an excuse to have rubbish instructions and tell people it's their fault. We might be able to take a closer look actually at the differences in these XY jointed parts that I've done. So now, oh Adam, you fool, why are you not been showing anyone what you've been doing? It's like the entire point of being... Oh, you people got to yell at me if my camera's in the wrong place. So I just took nuts off and this should just slide straight out. Look at that! Lovely. Lovely. I do want to be really careful. I'm going to take the ends off here, so I want to make sure that I don't lose the carriage off the end. That would not be good. So I think I got some blue tape out somewhere. This is not the ideal thing to use, but it will work. In fact, I was going to put it on the end, but the easiest thing to do, isn't it? Just to take this to that, like that. No worries. Problem sorted. John, that's why it's great to have Pavel here, because he basically designed a lot of it, if not all of it. So that's why I mentioned things specifically to him. Oh, in fact, do you want to, I mean, I've kind of introduced you now. I should have got you guys, Mikhail and Pavel, to introduce what you actually do, so everyone knows who the people are in the chat that they're talking to. In fact, do you want to do that now, if you want to? I mean, you don't have to, but I think it might be nice. Just like a sentence about what you do. Again. I'm getting so carried away with doing the actual work that I'm forgetting to put the bloody camera in the right place. I missed one here. Let's try. Okay. I'm an alcoholic. I probably shouldn't laugh, just in case it's true. I think my pulleys are going to be the wrong size, very sadly. Where did I put them? Are they in here? So this seems to be catching. I'm sitting on it. You idiot. At the moment, I mean, I'm sure you've seen my, if you've not, I do have a big review of the V-Core 3. I'm changing the things that I suggest people change. At this point, I will say they're both good. The results I'm getting from the Voron are bloody ridiculous, but I believe at the moment that is in no small part due to the firmware and the tuning and the print profile. So that's why I'm doing the same to this printer, because the default configuration is a little bit silly and doesn't use what is the best supported firmware for the printer. There you go. Thanks, guys. Saves me attempting it and getting it wrong. So, I don't think... Ooh, this... So, funny story. One of the things I did on the differences is I expanded this bit very slightly. So the area around the pulley by, I think, 1mm. So this actually fits. This large pulley does fit, but you can probably see, oops, daisy. It's literally right there, and that's in contact with the walls now. Oh, this is very sad. This makes me very sad. Maybe I'll reprint these parts overnight and we'll get some larger ones that we can use with the big boy pulleys. Trouble is, it gets really close to this face here that's holding the extrusion. We've got to take them all out anyway. This is stiff. Ah! Guessing we have to unscrew it. I think I might have opened this hole up as well. I've made a lot of changes. It's one of these things where, like, as soon as you have the CAD files, you're just like, I'm just going to change everything because I can. It's very easy to forget or not know why things were done the way they were in the first place. I mean, you don't have that information. You can get pretty dangerous with just making changes, like you know what you're doing. So there you go, you can probably see that difference quite clearly now. The belt paths will line up because the hole is in exactly the same place, so the centre of the idler is in the same place. There you go, you can see that really clearly. Try and get it in the middle. Here, all the way along, we need spaces. Here, big block here, doesn't need spaces. Let's see if I can still assemble it. So we're going to copy this. No, we're not. We're going to copy, I don't know what we're copying. What are we doing? So this needs to go up here. So it's up here. Switching the eyes requires a specific size flange or they'll collide with the extrusions. Oh! I see, of course. How are they going to collide with the extrusion? Do you mean the 2020 extrusions here? Yeah, let's give them a quick measure just so we're all on the same page. I think they're going to be too big. So the rolling diameter, is that the rest phrase? 12.2. Oh, versus 12, so that's 0.2 mil different. And then the outer flange is 18 versus 16. Oh, so this set at the back where you've got the extrusion here. Maybe we'll go with the same idlers then, unfortunately. Because one of the reasons we're replacing them is I think I damaged them. Well, this is what we've got. This is what we go with. We can at least change the belts. It just also would have been really cool to have black pulleys. Oh, mine have gone straight through as well. I obviously took out the thread in the bottom of the hole for some reason. Oh, I know why. Do I? No. Oh, yes, so you can actually tighten the whole thing down. But maybe you don't want to, and that's a good thing. Again, me thinking I know better when maybe I don't. Probably don't. But I've decided to do it anyway. It was the moment he knew he fucked up. Usually those are 18mm, those are too big, you'd have to modify the entire belt path. Those won't work. I'm not sure about the XY joiners, but they won't fit in the rest at least. I mean, if I had a lathe, I would 100% just stick them in a lathe and dither them down, because I don't think the 0.2mm on the ID is going to make a big enough difference that I'm going to care about. Huh, I've got two different shims here. Where have those come from? What have I done? I've used two different shims in two different places for two different things. Also, these don't... No, those are the same diameter. Could potentially. I've got two different shims here. I need to check with the instructions. Micro shims are for the tooth dialers. Okay. Thank you. That's why I've just found two as I've taken this out. So this is going down here. Oh, no, other way around. Oh. I want some tweezers to hold this in place. There we go. Let's put this nut on the bottom. I'm not going to tighten the idlers. What do you mean? They're, what? Still going to be just as tight as before, it's fine. So that's our pile of extra things that we now don't need to install. I'm guessing the bearings are different in the idlers, aren't they? That's why you've got different shims. I probably asked exactly the same thing the first time I assembled it. Don't compress those things. I know, I mean, I think the part is going to be plenty thick enough to allow it to be tightened sufficiently without it. That's why, especially with this extra material. Like this, I can see, because you've got some quite thin material maybe. But with this chunky boy, I think we should be, this is actually, having now been printing on Voron, this print quality is, I mean, it's not the fact it's a Voron, it's the fact that it's fully enclosed and an absolute beast for printing ABS. But there you go. I printed them when I printed them. We can always replace them. Come on. Oh, I've just remembered, I've not checked Twitch in a little while. Let's go have a look what Twitch has to say. Nothing. I think they've all gone to sleep. Oh, my back. Ugh, how long have we been doing? It feels like longer than it actually is, I think. 1 hour and 45. No ads though, eh? No ads. So which was the left end and which was the right end? No idea. Did I take the... I think I slid them out onto the floor, didn't I? Yep, they're all over the floor. This is symmetrical, right? So it shouldn't matter. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that one. Is that the same as that? Yep. changing my Voron for my right leg. Seems like a waste of time. Why is this not going in properly? We X and stop. So left from the front is this, is that, is here, so it's on this one, I think. So much for using instructions, eh? Oh, that doesn't fit. We've got a ABS one of these, I think. Yes! In a beautiful red. Blasphemous, I know. Look at that, doesn't that look tidy? What do we reckon? I reckon that looks pretty frickin' sweet. Oh, I just feel exhausted all of a sudden. Where's my water? Can we get some more likes? Please. We've had really good number of people here today, though. 120 odd people for the whole stream. I think that's just a really good colour combo. Forgetting loyalties to any other design. It just looks, it's just a really nice, like, dark red, that colour. Me like it. Me like it much. Okay. So this is when I have to be a bit careful because I don't have anything to stop these screws coming out. Because on the old design, they thread in. The screw threads into the... Can't see anything, can you? The screw threads into this part. So not only does it not come out, it kind of provides the tension, whereas now that doth not exist. So we have to be a bit careful. I'm going to have to do top and bottom. Cool, this is a tight fit. Oh, please say my parts are not too big. That would be a right a right bother. I don't think I made them thicker. That would be a very silly thing to do. This is not good. Oh, surely I didn't make them thicker. I cannot have been that much of an idiot. I've missed a screw, so I'm that much of an idiot, but... Oh, shit. I'm going to have to... Oh. Right, screws back on. Nuts back on, rather. I think I've not pushed my stack together quite enough. So I'm going to give it a bigger, firmer, stronger push. That's what I'm just checking. I think it's not. I mean, I thought I'd given it a pretty good push, but it's possible that... The trouble is, I don't know if it's all the way in, do I? I know if it won't go in any further. I don't know if it's all the way in. That kind of hurts, but I think it's in. Give it a test, actually, can't we? No, see, that's not good enough. That's going to rub. Did I make it thicker? Please say I didn't. I think it's just not getting into the part quite deep enough. $27.8, 29.7, 29.6. They are shallower. Well, they're basically the same. 27 point. This one's 27.8 for some reason. 29.7. 29.7. The dimensions seem to be right. I think it's just not quite compressing enough. It's time to bring out the clamps. I'm going to have to go get one. I think this clamp ought to be big enough. Oh, this is not rat rig design. This is me trying to be smart and make changes. Oh, now you can't see it if I do it down there. Oh, come on. No, what? How does it still not fit? This is bananas. Oh, am I just doing it in the wrong place? Is this just going to be... Oh, you absolute idiot, Adam. That's fine. It's not a problem. I forgot that when you do... I was focusing my attention on this part at the bottom. And this part doesn't need to squeeze in across the frame. Like, it just assembles the other way around. We're all good, everyone. We're all good. No worries. I haven't made a balls up, and getting the clamp out was totally unnecessary. I just forgot how to assemble the printer. Yeah, I'm doing it from memory. What can you do? Well, I'm glad you find that funny. Screw the lot of you. Why does this not? Now it's tight. Yeah, tight is an understatement, isn't it? I mean, so tight I probably almost broke the parts, but I didn't, so it's okay. So it should squeeze through there. That align with that. That align with that. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's all falling apart. Quick, get the bloody nuts in. Get the bloody nuts in. Come on. Why can I not thread on the blooming nut? What's happened to my hands? They've stopped working. There we go. So this should help me deal with any racking as well, because I can loosen these bolts and give it an untwisty. Come on. Yes! Ah, and now I think that will remove the racking if I assemble it. In fact, I'll just use some tape. Tape is going to be the saviour of everything today. If I just tape this to here, that'll assemble it square-ish. Better than by eye. Again, as with all things, probably not the best way to do it, but that's pretty against there. So now we can do these exits at the back. The new parts are le ABS. I don't know why I needed a le there. I'm in no way French or able to speak French. What do you mean, does a tool changer not exist for this thing? I don't understand the question. The new parts are ABS. Did I already say that? Lazy Susan is absolutely essential. Obviously, if you're just doing it yourself, it's really easy to just kind of get up and move around. But where I'm trying to stay in one direction and point and show things, it's literally the best tool I own. No, I'm saying that about everything now. Ooh, that sounds a bit grindy, doesn't it? Ooh. Ooh. I regret that. Many regrets. Whew. 93 likes. Good job. Oh, 7 more. We can get to 100. The Voron people made it to 100. So, if you don't meet that, then... you know, just saying. It would be great if I could just work on the printer from this side and just do this, because then I could show you things probably a lot easier, but... I almost want a camera like behind me over here, looking this way. I think that way, because I always work on it facing this direction. And this close-up camera almost doesn't manage it a lot of the time. So for this one, I think we can do that. Lead screws in a bit in the way for using that. What else can I grab that with? Adjustable doohickey, that'll do. Yes! Which accounts just to give me another. Worth it. 106. Yeah. And there's 109 people watching, so that's pretty blooming good, eh? I mean, 2,000 people have turned up at some point, but still. Couldn't be happier. I know you guys got my back. Well, this is the impossible puzzle. How have I done this? Why can't I get it out? Yeah, This is a bit stuck in here, so I didn't want to budge. What if I take these all the way out? Is that going to be better? I feel like doing this piece at this angle is not a great idea, but oh, I've just broken that part, so let's hope I... Yeah, the tolerances there were not very generous, so that's... Once that screw had gone in, I couldn't back it out, so... Let's make sure we get the right part out first. So we've got a left side. Straight ahead. So hopefully I was wise enough to make the hole clearance. I wasn't wise enough. I might be wise enough to get a drill now though, and fix it. Do you change all printed parts to ABS? I have, I believe, printed every printed part in ABS. Yes. Yeah, so M6 is what we're after. I was going to do an entire series where I just rebuild the whole thing from scratch, but it's just, I wanted to do it quick, so I didn't want to do everything. So I'm just doing some things, but you know what it is. Once you start, it's just impossible to stop. The other nice thing about ABS is I think because the layer adhesion is better, drilling out holes gives you much less risk of cracking the part, so I feel less nervous about doing that. The head's still really tight. That should be larger really, but that's okay. So we're not changing spaces on this part. Oh, this is tight as well. Well, I can't afford to buy one, so that was never an option. And if you don't want two printers, or don't have space for two printers, also not an option. Probably should have been red, this part, because of its location, but who gives a sausage? Kind of comparison between two V-Core, you know, just the bare essentials. The bare necessities, as they say. How did you get this part in originally? I guess with the printer standing upright, it's going to be much easier. Might have screwed myself into a corner there. Might have to wait till this part is printer standing up again. It's going to go in there, but getting the nuts and stuff around the right way is not very easy. So we'll carry on and have a look at the next one, which also won't be easy. Oh, ran away. I think it's actually like nearly impossible to compare two printers, but you know what, we're going to try. It's not impossible, it's just becomes very subjective. Yeah, rep. So I had the Duet 3 Mini 5 Plus. No, I've got no letter on my rights. My rights are unmarked. My lefts are marked with left. The other thing I was able to do by printing the parts myself is more infill and more walls. So I think I've got 4 walls or something on this. We're going with Octopus now. The nice thing about the assembly of this printer is because like there's not like a chain of parts you have to do. Like this whole like top corner is like independent of everything else. So if I choose to do more modifications, I don't have to come back and take this part off like anyway, if that makes any sense. I would say it's fair to compare one printer to another that's 3 times the price. That in itself is the comparison, right? They're all metrics. And the conclusion is it's 3 times the price. Like, therefore, don't expect the same thing. Octopus is by Big Tree Tech. It can, as per its name, support 8 of everything. Just seems to also be quite a well-designed board, to be honest. This stack is different, isn't it? What did we do on the last one? And have I done that right? I reckon I might have put this up the wrong way. No, I got them off that way. So for this one, it's these first. Yep, that looks right. Oh, shoot. Right, that's 2 corners done. Now we've got to wrestle with the other corners as well. Let's see if I can remember how to do this lot. I think I'm doing okay considering all from memory so far. I mean, it's not really from memory, it's literally right in front of me. What am I talking about? So I've got all like belt dust in here, which doesn't bode particularly well. Not quite sure what's caused it. Oh yes, I remember, more stuff underneath. Oh no. That is the last thing that I wanted to happen. The bottom came off with the top and pulled the extra parts out. I think well, they're going to be the same as these, so we've got spares. Oh no, there it is, that's what. But we do have to pull this part out as well because there's more behind it. It's going to be a bit difficult for me to turn this all the way around, so you can see there's one more part in the back here. Oh yeah, be careful with links, everyone. The bot hath no mercy. I can't remember exactly how this goes in. But I can tell you now, it's a pain to unscrew. Wow, that was difficult. Okay. So hopefully we've got all these parts. Fingers crossed. That looks like that. Again, modified a little. Printed a bit thicker, but otherwise pretty much the same. Aha, that's one of those. And then we need this left. That does not, no, that says right, Adam, you fool. Right, that's that. That has two big ones of those, so that's going in there and there. That is extremely tight. Get this cable out of the way. I feel like this part is not going to survive this tightening process. So this was that and that, followed by, oops, a daisy. Got some weird wear marks on there too. That on there, on there. Oh, that's a bearing coming out. That on there, and there, and there. Is that right? Should there be two spaces? I feel like there should be two spaces between those pulleys. I've got some one, that, and then that. Oh, I'm doing this wrong anyway, am I? Oh, that's why this came off with this, because this needs to be under here. That makes sense. Right, let's transfer these screws across. Don't know why I did quite so many of these parts in black. I think they look much better in red, but there you go. Or whatever the chosen accent colour would be. We need these screws out. Hmm. Get this. Oh. This is the problematic. I'm going to get a different M5 screw to help me pull this nut into place. I think something shorter is going to help me do that. I'm not sure what length is going to be appropriate. That's too short. Oh, I don't need to be too short. No, it's run the wrong way. That's too short as well. Okay, This one's just about long enough. I think. No? Yes? Yes. Oops. Okay, so this bit is quite difficult to do, and I think it's going to be even more difficult considering I'm doing it on the side. What I know I do need first though is belts. So let's cut a belt to length, because you have to get the belt in this path before you can do anything else. I mean, it says Gates on the belt, but it has a rather suspicious packaging. Hopefully I have long enough. What I bought. Dinner time here in EST. Thanks very much, John. Thanks for hanging around. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Right, yeah. Enjoyed. You did. Excellent. Good to hear. See you again soon. Yeah, I don't know why Big Tree Tech have a duck. I've always wondered. Maybe one day they'll do a duck reveal. You never know. Hopefully this other half of the belt is also long enough, because that would be tremendously disappointing if I don't have enough belt. I know, that's enough. Right, so hopefully the old memory is going to be okay with reassembling this. Nope, failed. Maybe we'll come in from the other direction. Is that going to be easier? Nope. What's going to be easier? Putting these out slightly? Nope. Nope. What might be easier? Mother. Get that back later. Don't need the instructions now. Oh, it's on there, isn't it? How I'm doing it. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. The fact that everything is black is also making it very difficult to film. Why new belts? I fancy some Gates belts. No other reason really. Because why not, I guess. I really should have got more length of the belt out here. Okie dokie, so now we should be able to pokey this over the top and we'll be pretty much there. I can even get this over the top. I managed it before. It's definitely doable. Definitely more difficult when it's on its side. Oh yes, I forgot this has to go between the belts. I think we've got it. This is not working. Mildly annoying. So the spacing seems to be okay, but these screws aren't coming up to where they need to. They are now, but not very easily. I think my ABS parts for that are a little bit tight. By that I mean a lot tight. All black with some cheeky red accents, I think is what I'm going for. RatRig sell an all black version, do they not? Or do they only sell it in luminous green? Yeah, I think this all black look is going to look actually, well, the black and red, I think it's just going to look freaking awesome by the time it's done. I understand completely for like branding reasons and looking good on online pictures and stuff why they would choose green, like it's obviously their thing. But at the same time, when it actually comes to owning the bloody thing, I also like the idea of something that just looks epic. Oh, how long are we going for? 2 hours, 48 minutes. We've also lost 40 people. I'm guessing it's all gone dinner time, isn't it? So everyone's gone to get food. For American timescales. It might be a good place to stop then, because that's quite a bit longer than I was planning to go for. Oh, doesn't time just fly when you're dicking about? And I've managed my first Twitch stream. I mean, there's only 2 people there now, and there might even be 2 people that are also watching on YouTube. But, you know, it still counts. I've also just realised that all my idlers are smooth. I don't even have any toothed idlers in this set that I bought. I obviously made a mess of that, didn't I? What an absolute... Never mind. When are RatRig going to get some black idlers, please? Black idlers, please, please, please. Oh, now we've got this open. We'll have a little reward for everyone that was here for the whole stream or still here now. So, brackets. Brackets and brackets and brackets. So, brackets. I found a thing. So this is one of the reasons why I was going to try and rebuild the whole thing from scratch and decided not to in the end. So the workbench behind me, which you may or may not have some familiarity with, uses a kind of special type of extrusion sort of thing. And that's what these are. So these would fit in that profile there. That sits kind of in there, but like stuck in the actual profile. And then you have a T-slot nut at the end and a screw that goes all the way through. And it's a really good way to hold extrusions together. So I've got this, which should maybe fit in here, but also doesn't look like it will. So in theory, that would go in there. The trouble is, because it's this half round one, I don't understand the design of having a flat part on it, because it just makes it impossible to bloody screw in, doesn't it? Because it just sits like that. Like, how's that going to ever screw in? In what world is that going to work? You can't just screw it in, because as soon as you get to a part where it doesn't fit, where there's a flat, it's just going to not sit in there properly. So, because I've not had this apart, I hadn't had an opportunity to see if these fit. It looks like they don't, so that was a total waste of money, because I bought a whole set of those and they're not cheap. Well, they're quite cheap, but once you pay for shipping and everything, it's a bit of a shame. At least I'm a little bit confident that I don't need to take the whole frame apart now, which is good. Oh, well, this when you have printers so big. I think we've successfully made a mess. That's definitely been achieved. I'm probably going to be carrying on with this tomorrow as well, just because this is what I fancy doing. Got to get those parts off the Voron. So yeah, if you want to join in, hopefully I'll be around. I mean, it'll probably be a different time. I think I'm busy in the evening tomorrow. I don't even know what day it is. So I just want to keep doing this. As I said, I've got a week to make as many changes as I can and want. And so far, we've not done any of the things that I said I was going to do at the beginning. But I don't think it'll take too long once we get there. We're doing, I think, the slower parts now. Actually, shouldn't matter. The bend radius has to be pretty small before Gates say you should use teeth. So we could, maybe I'll look at, I don't know, can I be bothered to cut these mother effers down, eh? See, these flanges don't look pressed on. I don't think putting them in a drill is going to work very well, because they've got bearings, so they'll be really hard to hold. I could maybe create a 3D printed jig to hold them, but then having the tool to cut it down consistently is never that easy. I think we'll just have to leave it. I'll have a look, maybe I'll investigate between now and tomorrow, which is not very long, so probably won't have much time to do that. I'm saying goodbye. Yes, thank you everyone for sticking around. Hopefully this whole new format layout is not too weird. I think it's worked quite well. Maybe a slight audio sync issue that I can fix. I think that's only going to be small, so it shouldn't be too bad. Thanks everyone for sticking around. Thanks for those that left a chip. I think there was only one guy in the end, but still very nice. And I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.